Are Arsenal sending a message to the rest of the Premier League where Arsenal are defending champions, defending the Premier League title, and after one game, there's already something I want to ask. Was that simply a routine win, or is that a message to the rest of the league? What do you think? Answer in your comments. What do you think to the game? Basically, what the actual game means, Dom?
I think this means 3 points in the Premier League. I think it is important that as champions you get off to a win, particularly when you're playing at home, and lay down a marker. I think arguably that was the sort of big message coming out of last Sunday's win, which was, we're here to stay and we mean business. Look, you can say it was only Coventry City, and indeed it was only Coventry City. You expect Arsenal to win that, but we saw today Hull and Ipswich both getting wins. That these promoted sides, particularly in the early weeks, are actually quite tough games very often. So huge win yesterday. I think it does lay down a little bit of a marker early on, and I think that's important. But tougher tests to come. Can't get excited. I've seen the haters all go, "It was only Coventry." Well, you're going to have to play Coventry at some point. You're also going to have to win that game. And no one is saying we beat Coventry, we're going to win the league. We think we're going to win the league because we think we're the best side in the league, not because we beat Coventry.
Yeah, we actually think we're going to win the league purely because we've strengthened our position. And there's an air of instability about other teams that are in the league. I mean, it's more that other teams maybe have weakened a little bit. I was in the stands, right? I mean, I say sat in the stands. We don't sit anymore.
I was going to say
nobody sits anymore. Not where I go. But I stood there, and when the subs were made, even they basically got to the Nketiah sub, and obviously that's all the subs used up. So I was like, well, Gyökeres ain't coming on for a start off. But it's nice to be in the position where you don't have to bring, an attacking option. You can basically just bring the defender on that's going to be a bit more robust, a bit more robotic, if you like, to be in his positioning. You don't need the Maverick at that point. You just need to contain. So you go, right, okay, well, you're meandering, you're doing whatever. I don't need you to do that anymore. I'm going to put Nketiah on. I just want to hold that line a little bit. And I don't need the attacking option. So I heard a few people basically saying that reflected on Gyökeres, and I'm not particularly sure that he did that much. I don't know how you took that.
No. I mean, on a personal level, it would be nice for Gyökeres to come on against his old club, particularly given the reception, and you'll have seen this, but I've seen videos of it after, that he got from the Coventry's fans, which was very positive and very appreciative of him. So on a personal level, it would be nice there. But the reality is, when you have a bench as stacked as we did, and let's not forget that didn't contain players like Martinelli, Timber, Saliba, Bruno Guimaraes, who was rightly rested yesterday, Gabby Jesus, even, we know he's going for sure if Arsenal can get a seller, but these players weren't even on the bench yesterday. Someone is going to have to miss out somewhere. Now, I got the feeling, really, in terms of the bench, it wasn't even about game state enabled him to do this, but it felt like he was trying to get minutes to players that needed minutes. Mendy, for instance, came on, decided Rice and Saka, sorry, did Rice come off? Yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, Rice went off. Rice started, Saka started. They both came off.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you say something, you're like, hang on, have I misremembered?
No.
Getting those guys off, they all felt like they were, this is an ideal world. These are the players I want to get minutes off, either into or off. And they kind of almost felt, if we're winning the game, these were pre-planned subs. Nketiah for Calafiori is probably the only one that does sit out of that, which is kind of that defensive one. But even then, we know Cala's had his injury problems, and we're asking Arteta to rotate. We're asking him to make sure that minutes get to loads of players, and he makes substitutions earlier. And I think most people understand that, and most people appreciate that yesterday. But there are some that don't. But that's how it felt to me. And I don't think, to answer your question, Gyökeres, I don't think that was about Gyökeres at all yesterday. I really don't. It was purely a need to make changes elsewhere to rotate the squad, and I'm sure he will get minutes at some point this season, no question.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen that that there's a potential that that there's a loan option to go to Barcelona. Now, obviously, that's up in the air. We don't know what's happening with that, but in terms of the actual game and the reflection on the game, I just think that because Rice had to start, and he wouldn't have had to start if he didn't want to risk Bruno. That's one sub that he maybe wouldn't have to make. So that could have been the sub that, obviously brought in Gyökeres rather than anything else.
Possibly, but I think had Bruno started, even without the groin injury, let's pretend the groin injury didn't exist, I think he is really keen to get minutes for Saka, Rice, Marino, Zubimendi, the late returners from the World Cup, essentially. I think he is really keen to get minutes into them. You saw Eze come on, you saw Madueke come on as well. I think that is high in his thinking as well, because they've had no pre-season, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect opportunity anyway, wasn't it? Because obviously we were 2-0 up after 24 minutes. And realistically, the second half
slow start though, wasn't it, Sparks? I mean, 23 seconds on Sunday. Why is it taking so long?
I know. Why is it taking that long? Yeah, but they do like the 23s apparently. But it has to be a 23, whatever it is. So we have to be a 23. But yeah, I just like the commitment. And it does, and we kind of suggested that this might be the case, that once you get over the line and once you get that pressure released with a bit of relaxation, obviously, there isn't pressure as well. I also think that the pressure of the upcoming World Cup was big for them. So I don't think it was just pressure in the league. I think there's a pressure of being fatigued too much so that they can't help their nation and such like as well. So that pressure has been released as well. So I think it's done them a world of good that, that they can now concentrate on their game. And granted, some players have basically got over injuries. Some have kind of got knocks and such like. But the fact that those two things have been lifted, I think you can see that in the performances, can't you?
I think you can see it in the enjoyment factor. They look like they're enjoying being up front and not worrying about the mistakes so much. And I think that is quite important. I think we will really see more when we are in tighter games, when we're 1-up with 15 to go, or when it's 0-0 with 15 to go. That's when we really see, is the sort of handbrake off football being released or not at that point rather than now. My gut feeling is that there's sort of two things that have changed. One is that the pressure is off, and I think that automatically means you stay a little bit higher than you might otherwise have done. Because I think at times we dropped deeper because we were and played safe because we were so frightened of making a mistake and cost us the title when we hadn't won it for so long, when we all wanted it for so much. But the other thing is, and I think James McNicholas made this point excellently, Guna blog in The Athletic, which is you suddenly got all your attacking options available to you.
Who knew, right? Who knew?
Exactly.
If you got all your attacking options, you can attack. Who knew?
Yeah. And also I would also argue that Coventry defended very poorly yesterday. They left a lot of space at time for Arsenal. I think they tried. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't that they were deliberately passive. I think the quality was outdone. They just couldn't get themselves into those positions. I think they were taken aback by the step up and how big it was. And City were obviously equally as bad. And this is not to criticise Arsenal, by the way. The point being that teams haven't got themselves into.
You are allowed to criticise Arsenal.
No, I know. No, I'm aware of that, and I will do so and have done so. But the point I'm making here is that this isn't to say that Arsenal only attacked well because the opposition played badly. What I mean is Arsenal haven't faced that low block, which was so difficult last season. And at that point, we'll be able to make better sort of judgments on where that attack is. But I do think the two factors of all our attackers are available, which gives us different options, and also different options to change it off the bench if we need to, coupled with that sort of mental fear of being the player that misses up the league, being gone, is really, really helping. And you're just seeing players play with a smile on their face as well.
Yeah, I particularly thought that when Ødegaard scored, because his celebration was
deliberate miss kick, by the way.
Obviously it wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but I thought that the celebration was just like one that he's having fun, and it's entertaining. Now, obviously, it's easy to have fun when you're scoring a scrappy goal to win 3-0 or to lead 3-0, as it were,
But equally, last year, had we done that, I think he'd have looked embarrassed and guilty. This year, he looked like he enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and which is kind of the point I was making. It would literally just. Have they scored again?
No, not that I've seen.
It's the second. It's all right. I got T's message there where it says Spurs getting belted at the moment. Yeah.
And I thought me to look and go, did I not notice the second half had started?
Yeah, I looked, and then it's got Keith Andrews basically celebrating in the crowd, and I'm like, was that a third? But yes, Spurs are getting...
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. So, wait. I saw 2 goals, but I'm pretty sure the halftime whistle had gone by the time I looked. And but yeah, I've turned the sound off now, so I
yes, I like guys.
Yeah. So
I mean, when I joined you, I didn't even know it was 1-0. I hadn't had a chance to look.
Yeah, well, mad, absolute madness. But yeah, I mean, it's Brentford. Brentford a tough side anyway, to be fair, and. The opening day, and it's essentially a London derby, and they haven't played together, so totally acceptable and very funny. But there we go.
The chat is kicking off with the banter as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're going to go through that very quickly while we're here. Welcome into. Nice to see you. Sam Wilson says, evening both of you. Good evening yourself, and thank you for joining us. We are live on both our channels, so thanks for joining us, and make sure you're subscribing and liking and sharing the live to all your socials. That would be much appreciated. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well. Broncol VA, good afternoon, Dom. Good afternoon, Dom. Just me. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Broncol. Good afternoon yourself, Broncol. Good afternoon. I'm sure you've just done that to take the piss. That's pretty much where I'm getting this vibe. But there we go. Welcome in anyway. Gunnar Gavelin, Lee, good evening yourself. I like the video that you did. It did look like you wanted to go poop. It was quite funny. It was quite funny.
Dummy, you'll be delighted to know I have done before the show.
Where did Tottenham get battered? Everywhere they go. We're keeping it clean in this specific scenario. If it was on the terraces, maybe go a little bit more vulgar.
By the way, my favourite chant of the day has got to be, did you hear the whole city chant?
You got some. I posted it as well. I posted the chant.
This was after the announcer.
Mauled by the tiger.
No, not this one. So Hull 2 up. It was about 10 minutes to go, at which point the Hull announcer announces that 2 trains to Manchester have been cancelled. At which point all the whole City fans started chanting, "You're going home in a taxi." And do you know what? Fair play to the United fans. They took it in brilliant.
Well, there you go. Yeah. But there you go. Everywhere they go. Exactly. Yes, laughing to my response. Khalid, welcome in. How are we?
Hang on. Good afternoon, Khalid. How are you?
Yeah, exactly, Khalid. Yeah, there's two of us. His name's Dom. I never know which way. I always get it wrong. I think about it so much, and I always get it wrong. Absolutely.
His name's Sparks.
Yeah.
Do you know how I tested it? I did it underneath the camera and then are we going to end this too Ronnie style later? It's good.
Yeah, this sketch. We're just gonna have to do it wrong on purpose every single time. But then I'm sure we'll get it wrong anyway. What do you mean? I said what live?
That he had to look like he had to go poop.
I mean, poop is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that from a distance, Khalid, and I thought it said "Good afternoon, Dave." Everybody knows the.
We've gone from the two Ronnies to only fools and horses.
Yeah, two Ronnies to only fools and horses. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I had a full Scottish breakfast before. Yeah, that would do it. That would definitely do it. So yeah. Big Arsenal breakfast. And I keep saying that name, Big Arsenal breakfast, because I can't remember your name. I'm crap with names.
Ed.
Is it Ed?
Yeah, Ed I think is the.
I tune into your show pretty much. I watch it on a replay because I don't get up that early.
I watch it on a replay when I'm not on the train to work.
But yeah, good evening yourself, Ed. If that's even right. Even if
it is,
yeah,
I promise you. I promise you I'm not winding you up.
It probably stitched me right up for no apparent reason, but there we go.
Poor Ed in the week was trying to pronounce someone's name because it was long and complicated, and I felt for him. And it just said in the message below, "You can just call me Ivan." And he spent ages trying to get his name right, apologising for it, and then read the rest of it. He was like, "Oh God, that tickled me."
Honestly, Ed, don't get offended, right? I forget my own name at times. Honestly. Yeah, so it's bad. Yeah. Oh my God, the names. Yes, exactly. So there you go. But yeah, if you're in here, please make sure you hit like and subscribe. Share the lives on your socials. Hit the notification bells as well. And I'm going to put the display names on there. There's the channels to go and follow. If you're on either or of the channels, make sure you're following both. The Sparks is just my name. It's just the app. But there we go. What's that? We're here to remind you, John. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're a bit of a joker anyway, so I knew that was coming. Why do you think I good morning, Dom only? I'm horrible with names. Yeah. As I said, I normally display them, but sometimes I don't bother. So I think it looks cleaner without it, to be honest with you. Good afternoon yourself.
I think Tottenham are about to make a triple change at the break here.
Oh, we got Fernandez. So did they not? They're not play any of the new signings then. They've got the centre back on, haven't they?
They got this, yeah. So they start with Van Hecker, Archie Gray at right back. Good job they didn't sell a right back in Jed Spence, isn't it? The Tonali started.
I can't believe, right? They've done all this and they've still got Ben Davies. I mean,
and he's not as well.
And he's not a captain, by the way. He's literally just, yeah. How can he be there that long, survive that many managers and not be captain? Archie Gray was captain, I think.
Yeah, Archie Gray was their youngest captain. It looks like it's only one change. The graphic highlighted 3 subs and obviously with no sound on. I thought they were bringing on 3 subs.
I think it's 2.
I've just seen Fernandez come on.
There was Fernandez and somebody else. I can't remember who the other.
Bentancur's.
They're taking the goalie off again. We're good when you do Kingski.
Benton Cross going on as well. You're right.
That was when they did Kingsley, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it's a double change from them at the break.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we had 3 different scorers, varying different qualities of goals. What impressed you most about the performance, if anything, really? I mean, I guess.
I thought the whole performance was a really good performance. Coventry, they didn't touch the ball in our box until somewhere around the 70-odd minutes in. I know they had that sort of audacious effort sort of with the overhead kick. I mean, it wasn't a full overhead kick because obviously he's not sort of left the ground. But
I saw that live. Obviously, I was at the game, and then I saw
the far end to you, presumably, was it? Or
yes, he was the far end.
Yeah.
But yeah, the commentators made a big thing about he meant it and it wasn't far away and it was this, that, and the other. But it was very looping, and it was like, well,
Raya was backpedaling.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was. Yeah,
I'm not convinced he was actually going for goal. I don't. Behind between the gap between keeper and defender, but Arsenal obviously completely dominated the game. Possession wise, with 69-70%. In total control, I thought they nullified Coventry's stretch really, really well. And they used that base, though, not just to nullify and control the game, but they used it to do something with the ball. And, we were very fluid in possession. We moved the ball really well. But interestingly, we attacked more down the left, percentagely, than we did down the right, which is not something we've seen before. Because normally it's the other way around. But ironically, I'm going to pick out the right-hand side because that White Saka Ødegaard combination is back. It's probably one of the few times we've seen it with them fully fit in a long time. And it
3 years.
Literally. And it clicked back instantly. But I also think that some of that was more effective, maybe, because we attacked down the left as well. And it meant that we couldn't have this, let's shuffle across our defence to the left, to our right, their left, because we can, because that's where the threat is. Because they couldn't leave that our left flank unguarded, because that's where a lot of threat was coming from. And I think Calafiori and Tzolis down that left-hand side were causing all sorts of issues, as down the right-hand side was that Ødegaard, Saka, White combination. But Havertz's movement goes underlooked as well. His goal was very, very nice, but his movement was causing Coventry all sorts of problems, as was Ødegaard's, and just the sharpness in around them. That attack looked really, really good. Oh no, I pressed pause, so I'm about 40 seconds behind.
It's now 3-0.
Nice. Yep. There we go. Happy days. Only problem is they're going to go top of the league if they score another.
I mean,
I don't care. Okay.
You don't care. At this point, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my 3 fingers were. You see?
I realised.
No, I'm talking to the chat. Chat. The chat are informing me after I'd put 3 fingers up. I wasn't swearing at you and mislaid a finger. I was informing people that it was 3-0.
Yeah. I thought the attack was the whole performance was really good, but the attack was really good.
So the shot rebounded off the face of the keeper and then dropped. So it's like, you don't need to watch it at this point, though. You know they're getting battered anyway.
Yeah, you don't need to watch.
And in fairness, if they start getting back into it, I'll tell you so you can turn it back on.
But nice of you to join us instead. Priorities, Lee. I'm
absolutely priorities. Absolutely, yeah. And I hope you've reposted on those socials. Just you can go off the live to repost on the socials. This was kind of doing the rounds in the United game as well. Believe it or not, when Hull City went 2-0, so that was doing a round on there.
But anyway, that's what impressed me most about it.
Maybe they should have. They should have.
I mean, it's a good job they thought that Kingsley was a Premier League number 1, isn't it? Really. I mean, Vicario wasn't it, but there you go. But what
I actually don't think the improvement from Kingsley to Vicario is that much anyway, to be honest with you.
I'd argue there's not any improvement at all. I'd actually argue there's a slight downgrade. All Vicario did was lose his confidence.
I'm not sure if it's a downgrade, but I'm just not sure it's as much an improvement as they thought it was, especially when they got Vicario. Wasn't it the same year that they got passed over for Raya?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Good news, Jamie O'Hara before the game. Spurs are back. You know this. Spurs are back.
Yeah, well, this is the
He's
other
right.
one.
Spurs are back.
Yeah, Mr. Arsenal podcast, Ryan, and I was literally going to say this. The same...
I hadn't even seen this. I just saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. This is literally Dom does this a lot, and I do that to Dom as well. He stole my thunder right there. I was going to say the Tottenham are back. This is the Tottenham we know and love. Get battered everywhere they go, and they're the only ones that can do these kind of things and think they're going to win the league. Absolutely insane.
Oh my days! They just missed a sitter.
What, Spurs?
Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I've shared on it. I appreciate any shares you got there. Lee, I really do. Thank you very much indeed. Jamie O'Hara getting paid for opinions. Even he doesn't believe. Good work if you can. See, I think Sky's going down the same route as Talksport now, and it's just a bit. People pay for those opinions, like you say. It's just nonsense, really.
Yeah, it really is.
But
there's good pundits around, but very few of them.
They get swamped by the really bad ones. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So when you got Perry Groves and the other guy that's on I never remember his name, but they do a really good show, and all you ever see are clips of O'Hara and Cundy and Abonlo and whatever her name is, Siobhan, is it?
I try not to watch it, to be honest. Albeit, I've seen clips of Cundy. I think when Cundy's being serious, he's not too bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's exactly this, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I quite like that Cundy basically put some pressure on his own club, though, when he was like, "Oh, Chelsea can win the league" and whatever. And people said, "Oh, yeah, that's really baity and whatever." And I don't see that. No, I actually think that's putting pressure on your club. You've literally gone, well, we spent all this money. This is my expectation now. So I see it a little bit differently.
I also think he was quite honest about where it is, which is, that we're playing one game a week, and that is going to be a significant advantage to us.
Mm. United only finished third because
I was going to say it looks like a penalty to Brentford. It looked like a foul to me. I'm waiting for the VAR review because I'm a little bit behind, but
yeah, all my Twitter, all my WhatsApp groups are going absolutely mental. So yeah.
I'm going to see if my mate wants to tell me to go and do one.
Yeah, so Ed's saying penalty Brentford anyway. He's putting the ball down, so I don't know if it is getting reviewed, is it? I don't know. Cooper says, big up yourself, Cooper. And a red card is that supposed to be red card pending?
Yeah. No, that's his name. It's his,
red card pod.
Yeah.
Red card pod NG? What's NG then?
Not sure about NG, but
what does NG mean? Red card pod, please. And yes, you are right. Spurs are getting thrashed. Yeah. I got that bit. But what's the NG? De Zerbi has the same look in the sun that Ten Hag had 3 years ago with United got slapped like 4-0 by Brentford. Okay, fine. Nigeria, fair enough. Indeed. Welcome in, sir. If you've got a pod there, thanks for coming in, and leave a sub on both of our channels and we'll get you back as well. So, we appreciate you. And if you want to come on channels as well, then give us a shout and we'll get you in the group.
Yeah, if you message me, I can pass it on to Sparks.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I obviously just back to the Arsenal game there yesterday. Sort of went through. I haven't gone into individual players. I mean, Cooper here talking about MLS, who I think is one of them. But what were your reflections of the game? Because obviously you'll have seen it in a different guise to how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I see it a bit more funneled, if you like. So I see one end more than the other because I'm obviously at the end. So I'm in the North Bank. So obviously I saw all our attacking play the other end and very little our end. So I didn't really see much of Coventry, to be honest. We saw that corner, and I think it was Ed that kind of related to it from Big Arsenal Breakfast. Basically, see, I get it now. It's in my brain now. So yeah, I'm there. So yeah, I think they had that corner. It looked quite threatening, and we're like, oh no, here we go again. But
especially given their threats from corners last season were quite strong.
Yeah, but I mean, if I trust anybody from corners, it's David Raya.
True.
I really think that Raya's probably the best from corners, certainly these days. And even in his pomp, I don't think Alisson was that particular much quality from corners anyway. I think that was one thing he kind of suffered with, but we didn't really do with it so much in the league. But anyway, yeah, I think you're right. I think we use the left as well, but I also think that we use the out ball from Ben White to feed it to Tzolis. And Tzolis being a threat and actually being able to trap a ball and actually being able to control it and actually showing a bit of attacking nous, the defenders had to cover him.
Yeah.
And it was simple as that. It opened up the space for that trio to work again.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and this was the problem. This has always been the problem. When you've got Trossard there, he offers that bit of... a bit of magic every now and then, but he couldn't do it over 90 minutes, right? Easy to kind of track, to foresee and lock up, because they just put a midfielder in there instead of a defender.
And his lack of physical sort of
I don't think it's necessary
and run the whole time.
Yeah, I think it was more the pace and the fleet-footedness, because he obviously is a little bit on the older end. I think Tzolis is Trossard's, but better years ago.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the numbers, funny enough, in Belgium were very similar.
Yeah. And obviously, we all go, oh, it's only this league, it's only that league, it's only the other. We did it with certain players that come from Portuguese leagues and such like. But the Belgian league is supposedly far worse than the Portuguese league.
I think it's actually ranked higher in the UEFA stats.
I'm not talking about UEFA, I'm talking about how you and me would see it.
I would see the Portuguese league above it, I agree, yeah.
So I think to basically to come over to start playing how he's playing, and it could well be a purple patch. But I think Tzolis is the one that basically has raised the bar, that opens up that trio of flair on that right hand side, and it's basically freed up. Now, granted, obviously they've all kind of recovered from injuries as well in the last season. So obviously Ben White was playing with his knee injury. Saka with his was it ACL or whatever it was.
Yeah, he certainly hurt that. I can't remember what he did now, but he got that big injury, didn't he?
Yeah. It's,
and then the Achilles towards the end of the season.
The Achilles, that was the one. That was the later one. And obviously Ødegaard did his shoulder, did his knee, did his other knee.
Did almost everything, right? I mean,
he did everything in the whole year. Yeah, all on top of having a kid and whatever. And when people were saying, oh, well, they've done this and he's had a kid, he's trying to recover from these things.
Without the rest of recuperation he might otherwise have had.
Exactly. So that's kind of all people were saying. But hopefully that's all kind of behind players now. And it's like, well, a lot of people, including Dom on Terry's channel, basically go, oh, well, if you get injury here, if you get injury there, you get the injury everywhere else. It's like, well, we've got the best depth in the league.
Yeah.
You look at Liverpool's squad, right? And they've got a couple of injuries now, but if they get another one or two,
especially in that DM / and in the defense,
they're screwed. They are screwed. They really are. But I thought it just opened up a bit of flair. I thought like you said before, I think the control was amazing.
It's been overlooked how important that was for me, that control element in the aftermath of it.
Look, but I do think it was too controlled, but I don't think it was necessarily by design. I think it was nerves, basically making players rigid, that basically go, oh, yeah, as soon as they get something, they clam up a little bit. And the fluidity, I think somebody put it here. Somebody put it there, or did I imagine that?
No, someone did put it there.
Somebody put something about fluidity.
Just going up. 634 from Spencer. Bronco and VA.
Can you not put it up?
No, I don't have the ability.
Okay.
It's the one above.
No, it's the one above. Okay, yeah. The fluidity of passes, are relentless pressing or awareness to make them comfortable with the ball. And that's completely what I saw. That's what I saw on the pitch.
Yeah,
that's what I took from the first half at least. And then when we did the subs, man, when we did the sub for Hincapié for Calafiori, I was just like, this depth is insane. Bear in mind that we've had Coquelin, and no disrespect to Coquelin, but Coquelin should have never been a starter.
Yeah,
he should have been a depth option. Fine, no problem.
Even go back to the first bottle job, and I hate that phrase. I think it's overused. I think it's appropriate sometimes, but it's overused. But Rob Holding was coming on, and that's where we were. I know we bought this.
Well, Rob Holding had to step in for Saliba because Saliba got injured.
Exactly. Now Saliba's injured, and we're looking at Mosquera, and we're about to be looking at Konza.
Mosquera had a great game, by the way.
Yes,
I think he had a fantastic game. He locked up that striker, and he was a unit as well. And he was literally, I thought it was Gabriel on him at times. It was literally just letting him kind of fall on him and putting his leg around him and just kicking the ball away.
Yeah,
I thought he locked him up really well. And I mean, I don't know who the midfielder was that was grappling at Lewis-Skelly, because he skinned him a couple of times. But I think Lewis-Skelly had a great game as well. So
yes, I do too, and I think he did against City as well. I mean, I don't think anyone has had a horrific game in these two games when they started. The worst starting performance I think was Madueke, and I thought he was fine. He was nothing above that. But in the 2 games of the starters, that our worst performance has been just fine. And it's Tzolis I think has looked really good. I think Ødegaard looking good. Havertz's movement really good. Myles Lewis-Skelly playing well. We had Rice and Bruno start games. It's really, really, promising.
Yeah. Bronco was saying that he wants to be added to the group. So if you've got his number.
Sort both of those.
Huh?
I can sort both of them after.
Okay, cool. Cooper, we're talking about we have a WhatsApp group where we discuss football. You don't have to come on shows. If you want to come on shows, you can come into the shows as well. But it's more. It's to discuss football. We have links in there, so we put our own links in there, videos and stuff like that. So if you want to support the channels, we watch the videos, recycle the videos and such like, and just give feedback on it, really.
I spent my entire train journey home listening to one person's video after the other.
Literally just pinging through.
Guess who's next?
yeah.
By pure chance, about 4 people put them out within minutes of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if we're on a theme, I'll put mine out. But yeah, red card pod. Tzolis is really special. My only concern now is he shouldn't turn defensive. I don't think he will, to be honest. He does do defensive work anyway. To be honest, it's not as if he doesn't do it already. But I get what you're saying. He doesn't want. You don't need to focus on it. But I'm going to add to what Ed put here. Tzolis balanced the team. The right side bias has been reduced, and it has. It provided an outlet because even when Trossard plays, you can't play that lofted high ball. You can't play that cross field pass because you can't control it. Purely because if you literally, he hasn't got the height to deal with it for a start off. And all right, most of the time you get the first touch, but there's 3 ways that Tzolis can deal with it. He can just press the ball and just play it. He can control it, bring it down, and recycle it. Or he can just bring somebody else into play. It just, and that's why we wanted the left wing upgraded. Now, granted, we might have accidentally upgraded it. Is it going to last? That's the unknown factor, isn't it? We don't know if it's just a purple patch or if it's the real deal. And the only thing that's going to tell that is by watching more games.
Yeah. I mean, time will tell. It's been 180. Well, not even that because he got subbed, but it's been 180 minutes of seeing him, and he has come from the Belgian league. But the signs so far are promising.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, by and large, in the last few years, have got their scouting right, and they scouted him quite intensively here. And the data says it's fine. So far, the eye test says it's fine, and Arsenal will have scouted him. And let's not forget, similar to Gyökeres, he's not just done it domestically and failed in the Champions League. He's produced those performance and numbers in the Champions League, similar to Gyökeres too. And I think that's what sort of gives me some encouragement about what this looks like for Tzolis going forward. But I wouldn't still be shocked to see another forward come in before the deadline. I think Arsenal will do that.
I think it's changed the focus, though. I think it's literally just gone from needing a winger to needing a striker. However, if the Martinelli leaving thing is true, then you still need a winger anyway.
Yeah, I'm not stunned if we see 2 attackers come in between now and the end of the window. That will depend on departures. I think we will see Nelson Vieira and Jesus all go. I really do. And then I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so for them as well. But this was always going to go to the last week of the window.
Yeah, we said that earlier on, didn't we? Where we had the conversation about the transfer window itself, and we all said, it's going to go last week because they're not A tier, they're not B tier, they might be in the C tier, or they're filling gaps in squads. So then they're not the first pick. So they're going to be there. I mean, all right. Was it Hamburg?
Yeah.
That were in for Vieira. That was their first choice. But my problem with the Hamburg thing, and I agree with you where you say their record signing is blah. If you have, and it kind of relates to the Man City thing with selling on a player that basically underneath or at the same value, so you don't have to pay a sell-on clause. If you don't like the clause, don't sign it. It's as simple as that. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah. And don't just take lots of pressure. Other clubs go clamoring at the door for it.
Yeah. But don't take the mick. don't just go, oh well, sign it and then I'll make it show it so it didn't happen. I think one of the loan signings might be going to Spurs as well, where they just stopped playing him because they didn't want to sign him on the permanent.
It was Kola Moani, wasn't it?
Moani, yeah, I think it was Moani, wasn't it? It was either Moani or Tell.
Well,
it
Tell's
was recent.
still there.
Yes or no, but it was something to do with the fee that they didn't want to pay.
Yeah, maybe it was Tell, but it was certainly one of those two.
Yeah, I agree with this as well. I think at this moment in time, Tzolis is a younger upgrade for Trossard. I still think, as we stand, he's a sub-impacts player, right? The standard that we've played, right? I'm not saying that that I'm discounting him from playing when he's playing Man City or whatever, but I'm just saying on evidence that's where I am. I still want a starting left winger. If he's it, then fair enough, whatever.
If he proves to be it, that's fine. But right now, the evidence is too limited to say he's definitely going to be it.
Right. Which is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And actually, he was brought in with the understanding he was going to be the squad player anyway. So he's probably not expecting to be it. And therefore, if you were to bring in, say, a Yildiz, and he becomes a starter and is performing better than Tzolis, then that's great. Arsenal got more depth. If Yildiz comes in and is being beaten out by Tzolis because he's playing better, well, Yildiz, and I'm just using Yildiz as an example, will have to suck that up. That's reality.
Yeah.
Similar to why Martinelli is being looked to be moved on. He's given everything for Arsenal. But
I also think as well he's being looked at because he contributes to the transfer fee. So if you can get 50 million for him and you buy somebody for 80, you're buying somebody for 30. Right?
And you're spreading that over 4 years.
5 years. Yeah. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it? And that's what we should be doing. That is what we should be doing: is upgrading our players, using our players now to upgrade future versions of a squad.
Yeah.
So it's purely it's a sustainable model. That's all it is. So we shouldn't be a retirement home. We shouldn't be anything like that. We literally have to be improving as we go, so that you don't get to 6 years down the line after competing for 10 years or whatever it is, and then go, well, we've got to rebuild the whole squad now. Who wants to do that? You don't want to rebuild every 10 years.
No.
Or whatever it is. Solis looks good, but it makes good decisions, but none was so frustrating. There's kind of another one here that why is Dama not coming over Madueke when 3-0 up against a promoted side? And the issue is Arteta remains he doesn't trust academy boys so much, except Skelly. I don't
agree. I don't know what you think, but I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. I think that I think he's showing equal opportunity, and we were saying before, I think he needs to get life in the legs of everybody that's played, and I think Dowman probably had a stressful week with exams and such like that kind of went on, and he probably didn't want to get him involved. That's probably all it is.
I see it slightly differently on Dowman in terms of why he wasn't this week, but I mean, I think really you're in a situation here where Arsenal are in a win now window. Everyone wants Arsenal to win now, and your best chance of winning now is to play your experienced players. We also have a couple of big games coming up against Villa and Chelsea as well. So I think you want the experienced players in here. And we know that Saka probably isn't and shouldn't go 90 minutes. I was quite surprised to see Saka start yesterday. Rice less so because Bruno was out. Well, you could argue Zubimendi would have been having had a slightly less stressful summer. I mean, he still had to go through all the training, but he didn't necessarily get the games. would have been that. But Zubimendi and Myles Lewis-Skelly I kind of see as one half of the midfield, and I see Bruno and Rice as the other. Not saying it always has to be in those ones, but if you are missing Bruno, I think Rice is the natural fit, and vice versa. Same with Lewis-Skelly and Zubimendi. But I think right now, you want to get the experienced players in at the start of the season, and you want to ease these guys back in and get some minutes in the leg before the season kicks off properly. So I think that's partly why we're seeing Madueke and not Dalman at this point. And I think the reason we are seeing Madueke start over Wanyeri and Dalman isn't necessarily about ability. I think right now, Noni is probably ahead of both of them because he's more experienced, and all we do is focus on the silly bits he does. But that's not uncommon there. But Dalman doesn't release the ball early enough. He's got a little bit of work to do on that. Like all these players all have things to work on. But I think what will happen is that probably either after this season or next season, Noni probably will be replaced by Wanyeri and or Dalman, depending on who else moves on. I think Noni and Eze in the next 2-3 years will be replaced by Dalman, possibly Wanyeri. But if Wanyeri doesn't make the grade, it's someone else. But the experience right now is absolutely crucial. And how many players have we seen Mikel Arteta give opportunity to since he came in? Yes, they might have made debuts under Lundberg, but Saka, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Vieira, not Vieira. Salmon's getting a few. Dalman, Wanyeri. I'm repeating some of them, but you get the idea, right? Mm. But they're giving the opportunity.
Hanous had a cup game as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that was out of necessity rather than anything else, because at the time,
but you can't split hairs. I mean, no.
Eddie Nketiah, thanks, Cooper. That's what I meant to say the second time, not Wanyeri, who I repeated twice. But he gives them an opportunity, and if they don't make the grade, Nelson, Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, then he will discard them and move them on. But I think Dalman and Salmon need really easing into this side. I think those two will become features in this side in the long run. Salmon will take a little bit longer to come through because he's a 16-year-old centre-back, right? Playing it in the Premier League. That for me, we could see 3 or 4 years before Salmon really comes through because he's that young. But we are showing he does that experience. So I understand that Dalman's better than Noni. I don't necessarily think he is better than Noni at this point, but I think he will be.
I think he will be.
Now window. Yeah. And we need to be careful on their development so they don't burn themselves out.
No, I don't think Noni did anything particularly wrong, to be honest with you. I think he looks worse because he kind of runs like a headless chicken at times. But I don't think he did anything particularly bad. And that cross that he did to the back post, that cross, it not doing anything is not on him. Havertz should have been there, or Tzolis should have been there. But this is the same thing as you basically go, oh, well, Tzolis basically puts an early ball in and it goes flying wide and whatever, and nobody cares about it. But Madueke does it from the other side. It's crime of the century. Yeah. And I noticed that because Tzolis did do a couple of crosses that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But because he's the flavour of the month, that he's
around players.
It's a different narrative.
It's funny. I've done this video for tomorrow, funny enough, on exactly this thing, and it's exactly that. Look, Noni Madueke needs to improve his final decision making.
Of course he does.
100%. But he can beat a player. He's working harder defensively. That really has improved since he came in. And yes, he does run the ball out of play sometimes, but so do most other than the elite Premier League wingers. They really do.
And he was brought as a backup.
Right now, right?
Yeah, and the favourites are, well, why does Martinelli play on the right over Madueke? Well, Madueke's are probably on half the wages that Martinelli's on for a start. So, yeah, I don't really understand. But, let's go through a couple of these comments anyway. Where are you getting the comments from? We're live on both our channels. So we're live on Dom's channel and my channel. So if they're not on my one, they're on Dom's one, I think.
Yep, and vice versa.
Yeah. Because it could love to be part of that. Just send a message over on YouTube and we'll get you in. Would help with the link.
As you know, I can message you his details.
Okay. Bachelor thing for my wife. One of her friends is getting married. Many happy returns to them.
He's clearly enjoying the party.
Yeah, you're bored, sat in the corner. Obviously, don't want to dance. Boys went off to booze store and get firewood. The girls are painting. I stayed on couch. Listen, Dom's box. Well, at least I got a notification of I'm involved this time. I've got on record. I believe Tzolis could develop into a light version of Kvaratskhelia. You're not the only one to say that. I think Goldbridge was saying the same thing when he was watching. Not that, you know. I'm going to go on this. Now that Martinelli is frozen out, a winger is needed to help manage Tzolis minutes. And Ed has basically put, what do you think of Martinelli treatment? And the Wrighty comments. I think Wrighty should know better, to be honest. I think it's a very Sky thing to do. And I think he should know better. I don't think it needs to be in the public eye, and I don't think you're not telling me that they've transfer listed Martinelli without telling him. Absolute nonsense. They all know what's going on. So, I think it's blown completely out of proportion. And to say the Martinelli's basically been hoodwinked, I think is absolute nonsense.
I think the only credence I could give to the comments about him not being told explicitly would be that he doesn't have 100% certainty. But by that I mean Arsenal aren't saying we are 100% selling you. I think what he was probably been told, and obviously we don't know, because we're not inside the club, is we are looking to sell you, because there's no way that he's not been told that, because it's blatantly obvious. Because even our response to Galatasaray, which was the timing of this offer means we're rejecting it, was essentially what they said. And I think it was also something about the cost there. But there isn't a certainty you're going, because Arsenal will want to make sure they have the right player in. But Martinelli will know where he stands. There's no question about that at all. And secondly, I think this is elite football at the end of the day. Martinelli has made contributions, significant contributions at times to Arsenal's progress and rise up the table in recent years. He is deserving of respect for that. And and I think Arsenal will respect him of that. I'm giving away my own video on this one, but I who cares, right? But there's that. And he will get the thanks and the gratitude if he is sold this summer. But it is elite football, and we can't whinge on one hand that we've got too many squad players that have been carried and then complain when they are being frozen out and sold. But I think in a scenario where he stays, he will reintegrate it back into that first team squad. Right now, I think he's not being played so much simply because we're in a position where we want him to minimize the risk of injury. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get injured in training, but it minimizes the risk of injury by him not being played. There may be even an element of, look, are you sure you want to stick around and not play every week? You know, are you sure you don't want to reconsider going to sides you might not have before? All of that can still be true. But I think ultimately this is elite sport.
Yeah, I think the last part, it depends where the offers are coming from and how many there are and such like. But yeah, I completely agree. It's how many times have we gone? It's Arsenal FC, not Player FC. You know, and it's not as if he's Ronaldo or Messi or Sanchez or Henry or Vieira. You know, it's not as if he's that player. You know,
Patrick, presumably not Fabio.
No, the real one, the real McCoy. But yeah, I want the club to be like that. I want them to be ruthless, and I think that when that happens, I think then we get respect in the market as well, because teams will know that we're not just limbs for players and such like. So I do want to get to the point where we're upgrading players as we go and not waiting until they're all on a Zimmer frame, metaphorically speaking, to get rid, and basically players go for nothing. I don't care that they don't go for nothing. I don't care what they go for as such. But I do care in the sense that if a player's on his way out or reaching that point, and I know that's why the 30 plus kind of 1 year rolling contract thing came to light, was when you get to that point, I'm only giving you a year contract because I want rid of you.
Yeah.
And I want to replace you.
I don't want to be tied to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Salah's a perfect example of that. Look, player of the season 2 years ago, fell off a cliff last year. It can happen unexpectedly, not necessarily in your very early 30s, but it depends on how much football you played.
Exactly, yeah. When you started and whatnot as well, because obviously there's Ansu Fati is a perfect example of that, because he was the next big thing, and he's 19, 20, 21, and they can't get buyers for him.
Well, it's also a perfect example of why young players don't always, they can explode and then not kick on. It's also why why we're seeing Dalman and the like ease into the side, because we know exactly it can happen. And people that are saying that Dalman should be playing more and should be playing over Noni are also the ones that are complaining that Saka was overplayed when he was Max's age. So again, you can't have it both ways. Not all, but I'm being very generic, but many of them
it is generic, but it is factually as well. Cooper says, I read on Sky Sports that Arteta and Alvarez spoke, and Alvarez is not against returning to the Prem. I know it's probably garbage, but Gyökeres didn't get any minutes yesterday. We kind of touched on the Gyökeres thing. I don't necessarily think that because he didn't get any minutes, that's the be all and end all. I think that was just maybe a situational thing, but it may be the case. There's a thing apparently doing the rounds that his family can't get visas to visit or something. I don't know. I don't know the whys and wherefores and whatever. I know I'd have Alvarez in a heartbeat. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. I know a lot of people basically saying, well, whereas we're his second choice. Do I care if he wins me the Champions League and then he disappears to Barcelona in 2 years' time? Absolutely not.
We said this a couple of shows ago, right? If you sell him, you're going to get most, if not all, of your money back if he goes well.
And you put a clause in there anyway that makes sure that happens.
Yeah.
Because if he wants Barcelona as well, and you put the clause in there that basically says, well, this is where the valuation is. If Barcelona don't meet the valuation, that makes Barcelona look bad, not us. Yeah. We agreed to your valuation. That's what your valuation is.
Yeah.
Now, the argument there would be, why have you signed your terms with Atletico Madrid with this supposed clause or whatever in place, if that's what you want to do and stepping stone it? That would be my only question mark, whether something's been put in there and it wasn't necessarily revealed it was in there. That would be my only question mark to it. But for me, I couldn't care less.
No,
couldn't care less.
There's ways to do it. I think the only risk with it is that if he kicks off about it. But I think if you put in clauses, you say, whereby if Barcelona paid £100 million, for argument's sake, they can activate that in a summer transfer window period. You don't kick off around that.
Mm.
And it manages that situation for you. And as you say, you're getting your money back. And then you can go again.
Yeah. So you put a clause in there and go, so long as they pay the money back, then that's fine. Yeah. Off you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go with my blessing. But
helps with SDR as well.
Yeah. But yeah, if I can get a tattoo of a UCL on my arm as well, happy days. The club needs to find what Madueke is vice Dauman or Nwaneri. Madueke beats his man, which is a hard thing to do. His finishing product needs work, and that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. And but they may already know that. We just don't. So they're not going to divulge everything to us, are they?
Alvarez, by the way, is in the squad tonight for Atletico Madrid. So
he wasn't in the previous game.
He's in tonight's game.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, I don't think, in these,
I don't
in these days. And it's starting lineup or the squad?
Squad, they haven't done the lineup yet. It's not out.
Oh, okay. Noni needs to learn to stay in the lines. Nwaneri is better at Noni at right wing. Doesn't want to play right wing, though. That was
not convinced.
In the first.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, I'm not convinced he is right now.
No, I don't think he is. And as he was pointing out, he can beat his man. And you can argue that Nwaneri is better in the 10 role. But are the other two in the 10 role or advanced 8 role, whatever you want to call it, are they better than him? That's
they
the
are
thing.
at the moment. And I think the other thing is,
yeah.
People are pointing at Nwaneri's numbers are better than Noni's. Again, the lack of space comparison, you have to factor that into. And that's not to say that I don't think Nwaneri and Down will come past Noni. They may well do. But right now, that's where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed says, disagree with you on the crossbox. None of his team know what he's going to do next because he doesn't know. I like Noni, but his hesitation and decision-making is poor. If he doesn't know, if an attacker doesn't know that a ball's coming into the box in the danger area, they're in the wrong job. That would be my argument to that. And the point is that even if they don't know and he does it wrong, if they don't get into that danger area, then what's the point of anybody crossing anyway? And my other point to that is what I said earlier. It was fine when Tzolis did it, and there was nobody on the right hand side. Nobody said a thing about it. That was perfectly fine. But Noni did it once. He didn't do it a second time because nobody was there. I get what you're trying to say, that he's erratic. But then so Saka, isn't he? So's Ødegaard. Ødegaard doesn't always go for the shot. He doesn't. I mean, last season, that through ball that he played through to Ben White, it didn't exist last season. And even if it did, is Ben White doing what he did with it? So just my kind of retort to that. I'm not saying you're wrong by any stretch. I'm not saying I know better than you. That's just my opinion. That's it. Because they're crap players. I don't know who that's going to. The Chelsea narrative is what drives Havertz and Madueke criticism.
I think there's some of that. There's some truth to that. I think because they came from Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how these two comments go together.
I can't remember now.
Chelsea United is because they're crap players. Wait, are you saying Madueke and Havertz are both crap? Is that what you're saying, Cooper?
He's gone.
Oh, Spurs are crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. And unfortunately,
you might have to clarify that one because it's too far away to.
He's dropped off because he's had to go. So he's not going to be able to clarify it.
Don't forget, Martin posted a pretty much goodbye post after Palace game last week. Well, then it's definitely being discussed, isn't it? I can't remember. He did do that, actually, didn't he? Yeah, I do remember that, actually. Yeah. Havertz play's been fine. Madueke has left more to be desired, but the Chelsea reject narrative 1,000% plays. I think his price tag at that time, I think he was at the point of the inflation of the winger market as well. So I think that hasn't helped. He
was the cheapest or close to the cheapest of all those wingers. Quality that went at that point. Yeah,
so I just think he's in the middle of the Gittins, Garnacho, Elanga, Sancho. He's just in the middle of that nonsense. I think that's why it makes it worse.
Yeah.
It is one of the golden opinions. Chelsea redirect Havertz in midfield. You're not allowed to deviate from the group thing. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that you can also say that Havertz works as a striker for us and he works as a shadow striker for us. It doesn't work as a midfielder.
No, I don't want to see him back in that midfield.
I don't ever want to see him
is as the 10/9 role. That just behind the striker role. I don't want to see him deeper than that.
Yeah. Take care, Bronco. Not allowed to deviate from whose group think. What? I don't know. Oh, he's got to run.
I think
he's got to run, so he can't explain it either.
No.
So yeah.
I think the point there was
the
great thing around Chelsea players that just is, many Arsenal fans will just not give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think that was a group think, and that answers the question.
I mean, I guess it's the group thing that I'm kind of struggling with. It's more like a clique, isn't it? That basically saying, well, you're not good enough for this and not good enough for that.
There is a vocal group of fans that won't give certain players the benefit of the doubt.
Did you see that?
No, I just literally turned it off on the grounds.
Did you not see the Spurs fan?
No, I literally turned it off.
The Spurs fan stood there going, I think it was like, what the hell's that? What's supposed to be? But it was like, well, yeah. Your Spurs, you know what it is. Anyway.
Not gone well with Spurs, is it?
You get sacked by Christmas. Anyway, this is human nature. If you wanted something, you are likely to hold it to a higher standard or be critical than something you want. Again, I agree with that. However, it seems to be a bit of a flip-flop from a certain situation, because it's like, well, if it suits my narrative of Arteta being, not playing certain players, then I'll go with that. And then it's like, oh, well, now he's mismanaging players, so I'm going to go with that narrative now. And it's like, well, they just haven't been mismanaged. And that's kind of what I'm making a point about the actual wording from Ian Wright. I just don't think it's right. I think
or necessary.
It's not necessary in the public. The thing is, he's got access to the club. He can actually have that conversation directly. But the thing is, he wants the exclusive with Sky, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he wants to basically get his potential for Sky, for the overlap, for Neville, for whatever, Because really, Neville's just like this social media guru now, isn't he? So it's like, oh, the overlaps come on, and now he's bought the 2 or 3 other big channels, and he's the guru of it, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Although I was told the other day that I must never disagree with any former Arsenal players, which is quite difficult because they don't always agree with each other.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, if you listen to Lee Dixon and you agree with him some of the time, my God, I'd probably never go to a game again.
This will make you chuckle though. A mate of mine, the Tottenham fan, went, I genuinely couldn't watch the last 20 minutes, but he's the bit that made me laugh was, I've always said Brentford away was a tough opening day game.
You're probably going like, oh, we're going to stuff them 4-0 before the kick-off.
He didn't. No, to be fair, and the reason he's referring back to when we lost at Brentford on opening day a few years ago. It was a tongue-in-cheek joke, which is what made me smile about it.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, the other time that we draw there. And it cost us 2 points.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. The other time that we drew there, they forgot to draw lines.
Yeah.
And they sacked the ref afterwards.
Yeah.
They did rehire him as a coach, though. But then you wonder why the ref standards are so low.
In fairness to that comment, it was a very tongue-in-cheek comment. But that game we went to Brentford on opening day. We were struck by COVID. It was a Friday night. It was their first ever game in the Premier League. It was a brand new stadium. It was a perfect storm, and we were a much, much different side to then. But we'll see what Spurs do. I had them finishing 6th. I'm not going to change it on the basis of one game. But
6th or 7th. I can't remember where my prediction put them, to be honest.
I had them 6th because Villa were doing a 5.
I'm going to look it up now. You got me going now.
When you do that, I mean, I had them 6th simply because they're 1 day a week. I'd figured they can't get as injured as they did last season. I think they bought really well. But they are going to take a little bit of time to settle. But I had them above Villa simply because Villa are like Man City are selling everyone.
Yeah. I've got them 6th, Villa 7th.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Where have I got Brentford? I've got Brentford 10th, and that might be that might not be doing them justice. To be fair,
Are they did they make Europe? No, they were the
Brentford.
missed out on
Brentford
Europe,
didn't, did they?
they Bournemouth did, Brighton did, Brentford didn't. Yeah, so yeah, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, but didn't Brighton a Conference League, aren't they? I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if that's correct.
I think that will hinder them this season.
Yeah.
Last year.
See, I don't mind the any Premier League side should be doing well in Conference League.
Yeah.
Now, I agree with you. The travelling might not do them well, but I don't think the game should take away from it because I think that Conference League is designed so that it's a springboard for a European competition to get into higher European competition.
Yeah.
And that's the right way it should be done.
Yeah, but I think where it will hinder them is the squad depth. No,
I agree, but even their squad depth, bearing in mind that they can spend money now because they've done all right with turnover and such like. For Conference League, their depth should be enough.
Yeah.
For Europa League, not so much.
Certainly to get through the early round anyway.
Yeah. Well, bearing in mind, was it Conference League? There were two English teams. Was it the semi-final?
That was Europa League. We only get one in the Conference League. It was Forest and Villa.
Yeah, and Palace in the Conference League.
Palace won the Conference
League. So Palace won it.
That the cat.
Yeah, scratching the fucking carpet because he's hungry.
I've got to go very soon anyway. So
we're going to wrap up anyway. But we're going to guess my point is certain opinions receive natural criticism in our fan base. I've seen Havertz being the scapegoat. Yeah, but Havertz isn't the scapegoat anymore. That's what my point was if it suits the agenda, that those same people that basically use Havertz as a scapegoat are now saying Havertz is better than Gyökeres. That's my point. It's they're flip flopping to for whatever their cause is. That's what I'm saying. I wanted Havertz, but not Noni. But I will root for Noni to be successful. But those who don't want Havertz or Noni, not sure they both want it. And that's my point.
Yeah.
That you just made accentuated what I was saying. That people just do it to suit their agenda rather than betterment of the team. But there we go. So overall, good weekend so far. Obviously, you got Everton beating Palace.
Yeah.
Ipswich beating Sunderland. Hull beating United. Brentford beating Spurs. Little shit's turned the fan off now. He knows he's not stupid. He literally puts his thing on the fan, so it goes off now.
Those were the scores.
And Leeds beat Forest with like 3 minutes to go.
So good, you said it twice.
Huh?
Don't worry. You did Leeds already, but...
Oh, did I? Oh,
yeah.
I was doing it from memory, and then the caption came up, so I was like, I'll nick the caption. So
and
obviously didn't need that, but yeah. So
as it stands, Arsenal are top and Spurs are bottom. Can we just end the league now?
Yeah, Arsenal top and Brentford second.
Yeah.
Yeah, as it goes.
Everton third, I think. Yeah, Everton third.
I felt as what we were. No, completely got it. We were. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everyone else in the chat. Please make sure you're subscribing to both of the channels. We will do another show midweek Tuesday potentially, but see where everybody is, and we'll do a rundown of all the weekend's fixtures. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing. Any comments in the comment section, and we'll see you next time. And as always, come on.